You're watching Let's Chat.
Back in 2020, we told you the story of the incredible golf course in South Pittsburgh that Mark Rivers, football superstar Peyton Manning, and the world of tennis's own Andy Roddick chipped in and bought together. From that golf course sprang the Sweetens Cove bourbon, the Sweetens Cove whiskey, and the lady who is a driving force behind that, the very first master distiller anywhere in the state of Kentucky, is our next guest. It is Marianne Eaves. Marianne, good morning. We're glad to have you here.
Good morning, Chip. Thank you so much.
As we saw a few moments ago, when you rolled out the original Sweetens Cove, it was absolutely incredible. People were snapping it up where they could find it, regardless of the price. How has the launch of that product gone for you since 2020 when you kicked things off?
2020 was really interesting. You know, our original plan on how we wanted to engage with the consumer completely changed because the world completely changed. But as we released our 2021 product, things were beginning to feel a little bit like they were going back to normalcy. And this newest release in Tennessee, we are so excited to be able to really get to our motto and volunteer to share it with bartenders, with bar goers,
Right.
Across 3 retail outlets, in 7 different states.
And you guys have brought in some heavy hitters. Jim Nance, a very popular voice here on CBS, Brad Faxon, Keith Mitchell, lots of other folks have all kind of chimed in. But you were the one where ultimately the buck stops, with this new bourbon, which is called Tennessee. Is it safe to assume that's a blend of Kentucky and Tennessee?
That's exactly what it is.
All right, tell me
Yes.
the difference between this and the original Sweetens Cove.
The original Sweetens Cove, well, the first release, the 2020 release of Sweetens Cove, was just one lot of 13-year-old bourbon. Our 2021 release of Sweetens Cove was 3 lots, all Tennessee bourbon, a 4, a 6, and a 16-year. So this release is a marriage of 2, bourbon regions, Kentucky and Tennessee. There's been a rivalry between them forever. I was born in Tennessee. I say raised in Kentucky, worked for Brown-Forman, who has Tennessee and Kentucky bourbon brands. So I have a lot of experience on both sides of the border. So I felt uniquely positioned to be able to bring them together and celebrate that union and, come up with a delicious bourbon.
Yeah, you're like the Peyton Manning of the bourbon world, from what I have been told here and from what I've been able to sample. You have hit something way out of the park, or should I say way off of the golf course. Let me ask you this. When you're going in to try a new spirit, and we'll take bourbon for example, what do you look for first?
Well, for me personally, I'm paying attention to the feeling of the bourbon. I'm paying attention to the complexity, how round the finish. It's really important to me that you get the full experience when you're drinking the Sweetens Cove brand.
What kind of taste were you going for when you had this in your mind's eye from the development point?
It was interesting, and kind of from the beginning with Sweetens Cove, I try not to kind of dream up any flavor profiles until I know what we can really put our hands on. So this treasure hunting aspect of Sweetens Cove, because the bourbon market, if you know or don't, the bourbon market is pretty tight right now.
Right.
So going out there, using some of our relationships and kind of the cool factor of the brand and finding these unique lots, and then knowing what's available flavor-wise, and then creating the product from that point.
All right, this is the first time I have sampled this Tennessee bourbon. I'm sure it won't be the last, so I'm going to pour just a little bit here in our glass. What do you look for after you do this? Once it gets from the bottle to the glass, take us step by step over the next minute or so exactly what we should be looking for. And that's if you're a novice. That's if you're a novice bourbon drinker.
Okay, absolutely. So once you've poured it from the bottle into the glass, typically what I tell folks to do is let it sit for a little bit and cover it up. So put something on top of your glass. So it's kind of counterintuitive, because a lot of folks, when you go to drink a glass of wine, you want to let it open up. I'm actually wanting to trap all of the different aromas inside the glass. And then once you give it, a minute, 30 seconds, a minute, open that up, bring it up to your nose. Don't swirl the glass on the first nose, but then swirl it the second time you bring it up and see, if you can detect those differences. This is still pretty high proof. So I selected 110.7 proof for this Tennessee product. It's the way that I felt like in a neat expression. It told the best story.
All right.
So you're going to get the influence of both a Kentucky and Tennessee on the nose.
All right. I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to do this right now. Here we go. You said don't swirl the glass, right?
Don't swirl the glass.
Wow. I'm not sure I can tell you what the difference is, but I did notice a difference between the nose on this and what was on the original Sweetens Cove. Very nice. All right. When you take that first sip, what do you look for? What are you tasting for?
To me, it's a beautiful balance between grain notes, sweet notes, and spice notes. You do get some fruit and floral character, but it's more subtle in the palate, more present in the nose, those fruit characters. It's got a little bit of like a mulled, spicy characteristic, some of those cooked fruits. And then you'll also get that extra boost of sweetness from the finishing that I do to this.
All right, here we go. Wow. I taste similarities, but I taste differences also. I think you've done another really successful product launch in this. And one of the big differences is price point on this is a lot friendlier to most folks, and the availability is a lot broader as well, correct?
That is correct.
I'll tell you what, Marianne, it is absolutely wonderful. And you've got something else coming out a little bit later on in the year 2022, correct?
That's right. We are still going to be releasing the ultra premium expressions of Sweetens Cove. We just wanted to also have something in between times that you could still pour a fantastic cocktail with.
Wow. You've done a fabulous job again. Look forward to having you join us either by virtual means or hopefully right here in the studio over the coming weeks and months. Marianne Eaves, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chip. I really enjoyed it.
You want to find out more about her incredible story and this incredible bourbon, all you have to do is check out the website, sweetenscovespirits.com. Again, that is sweetenscovespirits.com. And as always, if you're going to drink, please do so responsibly.